Hall of Fame induction. Tonight we are gathered to celebrate and recognize the outstanding achievements and contributions of our finest athletes and coaches, who have exemplified excellence, dedication, and sportsmanship with their illustrious careers. To our distinguished inductees, your remarkable accomplishments have not only set new standards in the world of sports, but have also inspired countless individuals to pursue their dreams with unwavering determination. Your journey to greatness, marked by sheer grit and an indomitable spirit, serves as a testament to the values of hard work, perseverance, and integrity. As we reflect on the moments of triumph and glory that defined your careers, we are reminded that the incredible impact that sports have on our lives. They unite us, they teach us valuable life lessons, and they push us to strive for excellence in all that we do. Your legacy is not only etched in the record of our sports history, but also in the hearts of those who have followed your journey with admiration and pride. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the families and coaches, mentors who have supported and guided our inductees along the way. Your unwavering belief in their potential has been instrumental in their success, and tonight, we celebrate not only the athletes, but also our community that is nurtured and uplifted them. To the future generations of athletes in attendance, may the stories of our honorees inspire you to pursue your passions with that same rigor and commitment. Remember that greatness is not measured solely by victories and their accolades, but also by character and resilience that you display on and off the field and on and off the court. This is especially true for those who have experienced JUCO athletics, where our spirit of competition and the drive to excel are nurtured and developed, often serving as a stepping stone to an even greater achievement. As we honor the incredible achievements of our inductees tonight, may their legacies continue to shine brightly and illuminate the path for our future athletes to follow. Congratulations to each and every one of you, and thank you for your valuable contributions to Garrett College and also to the world of sports. Enjoy the evening and let us celebrate the spirit of excellence that defines our athletic Hall of Fame.
Good evening. I'd like to add my own welcome and also make some introductions. Putting together something like this, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of people, so if I forget somebody up front throw something at me and remind me who I forgot. My wife has no problem throwing stuff at me. That's why she's sitting all the way back. But we'd like to thank our President, Richard Midcap, J.R. Kearns, who's our Dean of Student Affairs, for their support of this great evening. Unfortunately, they couldn't be with us today, but want to extend congratulations to our inductees. We'd also like to recognize our members in attendance this evening, our board members, Dwayne Yoder, and President of the Board, Jason Rush, and his wife, Angie. We're pleased to have with us this evening Garrett College Hall of Fame members who are in attendance this evening. I'd like to introduce at this time baseball coach who was inducted in the 2015 inaugural Hall of Fame class, Phil Caruso. Also inducted in the 2015 inaugural Hall of Fame class, Director of Athletics, head coach of baseball and basketball, Dennis Tiernow. Also in the inaugural class of 2015 for volleyball, Stacey Signs Wilt. Inducted in the 2017 Hall of Fame, head baseball coach Ed Wilson. Inducted in the 2018 class, head baseball coach and player, along with Ed, Lawrence Elrod. And in the 2022 class, men's basketball, Art Monroe. Thank you for making time for this special event. There's also those people whose hard work made this event possible, starting with the Hall of Fame Selection Committee, Kathy Fowler, Coach Caruso, Tom Bosley, Bill Ewing, myself, and Ms. Shao, who We would also like to recognize the rest of the athletic department staff who are represented this evening. When I call your name, please stand up and be recognized. Brittany Jackson, head volleyball coach. Who is not here? David Wingate, head wrestling coach. Men's basketball coach, Matt McCullough. Head women's basketball coach, J.T. Lewis. Head softball coach, Alex Roth. Head women's soccer coach, Brandon Jackson. We've got some assistants here, assistant men's basketball coaches, Derek Kearns and Tyler Williams. Baseball coaches Andrew Tone, Noah Mankin, and our strength and conditioning coach, Logan Stewart. I'd like to also go out to Tim Newman, coordinator of student affairs, who played a key role in support of this and kept Liz in my sanity, but she did a heck of a job. The stuff that you see here, as far as the place settings, all that, the programs and all that, do a lot to Tim and Liz. Can't thank them enough. Also, Chantel Lotto, bench coordinator, Marcia Knapp, the executive assistant to the president, board, and she's also inducted in the Hall of Fame class of 2018. We'd also like to thank Sherry Krug. Sherry Krug in the back there, our executive director of the foundation, for her support of athletics at the Hall of Fame. Special thanks to IT members, IT director Andy Durst, for their sound and recording assistance and presentation display. The marketing team, Chad Yoder, Hannah Sickles, John Rudd, Dave Lance, in attendance today with their web developing, and who's the photographer tonight. We'd also like to thank Elizabeth, Emma, and Julie Stout for their lovely centerpiece, their decorations. And finally, a big thank you to the staff, facilities, put this together with the bag, the tables, get to the tables, all that kind of stuff. Thrilled to be here tonight, and let's kick this ceremony off. I would like to introduce the first presenter, Coach Denny Fearnow. Denny was a member of the Hall of Fame class of 2015. He served at Garrett College, first athletic director, first basketball coach, first baseball coach, and the first inductee into the Maryland Region 20 Hall of Fame. Dennis will be pleased to forward to present the first inductee. Coach Fearnow.
I have the pleasure of introducing Rob Whitfield, better known to the baseball world as Cat Whitfield. And I think one of the reasons that is because I know from the beginning when he came to Garrett how great a shortstop and also how well he played on second base. I thought about how do you introduce this guy? He was one of the first players to come to Garrett, and he gave us so much credibility. So much credibility. The only way that I could think the best to describe him was, and I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it, in a very simple way, he was a winner. He was a winner. And I think in the program it says something about, and that is correct, the 2 years that he was here, it was only our second and third year of baseball. At the smallest college in the state of Maryland, with players like that. And I also have to include another guy who's being inducted tonight, his good friend, Mark Deutsch, that we ended up with a record, and this is correct, 53 and 14. 53 and 14. The first time, and I talked to Rob a little bit about this evening, the first time that I got to see him play was in a sectional or district tournament up in his home area. And I went up there, and I got there a little late, the game had already started. And so I went behind backstop, and I was back there, and I noticed all these people on lawn chairs that were sitting in front of me. And I noticed they all had stopwatches, and they all had clippers. And behind that was a number of people I know that were coaches that were there. I know these people weren't the parents. I figured that out right away. They were Major League Scouts. And if there's one that could get intimidated, I wouldn't get intimidated too either. I decided, well, I'm still going to stay here. If I get a chance, I want to try to talk to that number 15 after the game. So after the game, everything settled down. And by the way, they won the game. And Mark edged. I had a chance to go over and talk to Kat. And while I was there, I was very cordially invited to talk to them, and they answered some of the questions and seemed to express some interest. Actually, I thought, how could they be interested in a small school? But anyway, they came down, and they visited the school, and the rest is history. Getting a player, like I said, the caliber of a Catholic field gave us so much credibility that after that it wasn't necessary, although I was recruiting, that it started to be that people knew about this gentleman, this man playing for us, Rob Field. That we started to get players in that area that came to us instead of us having it. If Rob Field was ever playing, there must be something to this program. So again, he gave us so much credibility. He lived up to all the expectations, all the things that you ever asked as a player. He batted third in our lineup every game for 2 years. He was the captain of our team. He was certainly the best defensive shortstop that anyone could ever ask for. Rob's performance at Garrett did not go unnoticed. From there, it was the West Virginia Conference. He received many awards there while he was there playing for us and for us. From there, he was on to professional baseball, a dream. We used to sit after class sometimes, after practice, and I knew this guy, his dream was to someday hopefully sign a professional baseball. I can't think of a guy who could do that and worked so hard to do that. From there, when he signed his contract, it was a blue field. Matter of fact, he called me one night when he was in the rookie league and said, "Hey, coach, you never guess where I'm at. I don't know where we're at. I'm in Tennessee playing professional baseball." He certainly enjoyed the game. From there, it was up to playing not only in the rookie league, but went on to play in the Florida State League. From there, I know he made double ball at Charlotte, and he was for many years the outstanding shortstop and player in the league, Southern League. There was a guy there on the way that you may have heard of that played beside him. Rob was the shortstop, and the third baseman was a guy who played for Calvert. I could go on and on and on, but let me just say that Rob Field was one of the cornerstones that helped to drive a winning program here at Garrett College in baseball. Thank you. Rob, congratulations. professional game when I saw I played it. And so, but we go to Pittsburgh, and it was like I was scared to death. Just so, my point is, Garrett, community college back then, suited me to a T. Also, it was where when my parents did take vacation, we would come to Deep Creek Lake, and my first birthday was here at a place called Old Oak Manor down not far from here. And so it was, you know, it felt good for me to come here to go to school. Coach talked about the program, and, you know, I could see in his eyes how serious he was about baseball, and he just looked to me like somebody that could lead me. And at that point in my life, you know, all coming out of high school, you're trying to figure out who you are, and Coach Turner did not let me down. He's been a great man in my life. You know, like you were saying on our table, when you're going through those days, you don't know what they're going to mean to you. You don't know what these friendships are going to be 30, 40 years from now, and how close these people are in your heart. You know, you just don't know. So, the Lord's always put quality people in my life. Believe me, if you knew me, you would know that I need quality people in my life. And Coach was definitely one of them. Also, there was another corporate coach that's not here now, and that's Linda. And back in the day, like he referred to, we were brand new. In fact, the Civil War, I think, just ended, and I decided to do it here at Community College. But Coach had a wonderful wife. Her name was Linda. And Coach and Linda took care of me and Mark, and, you know, always did, you know, you guys want to come over for dinner, you got something to eat. I remember Coach buying a great big turkey and showing up at their door when Linda could you cook this? So, you know, it was kind of a family atmosphere, and you know, if you can't already tell, I walked through fire for him. And so would the rest of our team, which would explain that Garrett was talking about. Because if we didn't go to have fun, we went to win. And we did a lot of winning. And we're very proud of it. I'm going to tell you a baseball story, and I'm going to get out of here because there's a lot of people that are coming up here. And there's a lot of heavy hitters here. I'm glad I can lead off. I was always hurt. But, so, this is my Garrett story, and it involves yours. So, when I played for the Orioles, I was fortunate enough. I played 6 years as an minor league, and then I coached Double-A. When I was playing, we won the Florida State League Championship in Single A, and then we won the Southern League Double-A Championship. And as Coach alluded to, early in that spring training in 1980, I had already played 3 years of rookie ball, Single A, and 1 year of Double-A, where we went to the playoffs and got beat. So now I'm repeating Double-A because you get stacked up in the minor league. And back then they had Mark Landry in the big league in Baltimore, he wasn't going anywhere. So I had to repeat Double-A, but now here comes a guy to catch up, and it's Cal Ripken, if you heard of him. And so, but at the time, Cal, you know, he wasn't who you know him as now. He was one of us. The only thing was his dad, Cal Sr., great man, was his third base coach in Baltimore. And I think they had just drafted young brother Billy, who was in football. So we're in Double-A spring training in Miami. And Jimmy Williams was our manager. He came to the first day of spring training, and he said, Cal, he sat us down and said, you both need to have good spring training. One of us is going to be my shortstop, and one of us is not going to be my shortstop. And so, okay, so we worked hard. I did it, he did what he did. And 3 days after spring training, he said, come over here. And it was Jimmy Williams and Tony Franklin and Denny Mendoza, who just passed away, God bless him. And they said, okay, so here's the deal. Cat, you're going to be my shortstop.
Garrett, we're moving you to third base to keep your batting line up, and we're going to release Russ Fred. So, just so you know, a shortstop from Garrett Community College made Cal play third base. The only time he ever played third base. Yeah. And then those that said, well, how good of a team would you have been if he played short? And I always say, we won the championship. How much better can you get, right? So we're on the way home from winning that in Memphis. And it's like my memories were about a 10-hour bus ride back to Charlotte, North Carolina, where we were the Charlotte Bulls. So as you can imagine, we just won the championship. So guys, we were looking at our own tramways bus headed back to Charlotte. And they're playing We Are the Champions by Queen on their ghetto blasters, and we're going nuts. And finally, all 3-4 hours now, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm sitting there with my head next to the window, and I'm listening to the conversation behind me between about 5 or 7 of my friends. And they're talking about colleges, and they're playing I Killed the Bear, they're one-upping each other. So, and these colleges were Texas, Mississippi, Clemson, Arizona Sun Devils, Miami Hurricanes, and they're all saying, well, we had AstroTurf. Now remember, this is back in 1980, and somebody would say, well, we were the first to have halogen lights. And then I heard someone else say, our stadium, we have a stadium and it held 20,000 people. And somebody else said, well, we had padded seats. And they were going on, just trying to say, we came from a better place than you. And so finally, they saw me sitting there with my head between it. And again, those of you that went through this like I did would know, but in case you don't, you become like brothers. You sleep with these guys, you eat with them, you play baseball, you go on the road, the bus. They know everything about you, you know everything about them. When their parents come to see you, you say things like, Mr. Logan, how's that tree going when you landed in your backyard? And he wondered how you knew that. You just met. It's because you spent 12 hours on the bus with his son talking. So, with that being said, they see me sitting there and they said, hey, Catman, well, they're talking about the colleges, so I know what they're, and they're half wrong. And I ignored them and they said, Catman, and I turned around and said, what? And they said, what's the name of that school you went to? In the mountains. And I said, you guys, was it something, was it Ferret? Was it Ferret Daycare Center or something like that? And I'm like, yeah, you guys are so funny. No, I tell you, what kind of a store? Did you ever, what kind of electronic store did you have? The way to ask school. What about, how big was the stadium? Well, it wasn't a stadium, it was a field. Well, where did your parents sit that one day? Well, they sat in their station wagon out in center field because it was snow inside. Yeah, so when you guys play like 3 games a year, I said, no, we play more than 3 games a year. And he, now, Lord, did you ever, and then went on, and I finally said, you know what, and I stood up on this tramway bus and I put both of my hands on the seat, looked at all of them, and I said, I can't tell you that I came from a big college, and I can't tell you that we had a stadium or AstroTurf or lights. We couldn't play at night. But one thing I can tell you is I'm on the same bus as you. And by your own credentials, either I greatly overachieved or you suck. And so, going to small college after that was never a problem. So, what I've always just said to young fellas when I've had the opportunity, and I'll say it to you here tonight about anything that any of you might be wanting to do, because we're not done with life yet. We have a lot to live. And that is, it's not the size of the town you come from. It's not the size of the school you go to. It's not the size of the back you swim. It's not the size of the car you drive. anything like that. It's the size of your heart. And your heart will determine where you go. And I had a heart for baseball, and so did he, and so did Mark Deutsch, who you'll meet later. And when we all got a team together here at Garrett Community College, when this place was almost brand new, and when we had like 2 or 3 buildings and a baseball field, when Garrett got off the van at Allegheny or Frostburg, Dad knew they were in for trouble. And I'm glad to be one of the people here that dug the first ditches and started. And I stood on his shoulders to do it, and I thank you all, and I'm so proud of the time I spent. Thank you very much.
I would like to now introduce the next presenter, Ed Wilson. Ed is a former Garrett College baseball head coach from 1994 to 2003, a 2-time Maryland JUCO Conference Coach of the Year, and a member of the Hall of Fame class of 2017. Ed, would you please come forward to present the next inductee?
Wow, Toby, we get to call that show. Woo! Anyway, I'll do my best. I want to start with a message about the college, Garrett College. And a couple people in here have heard this message before, so I apologize for repeating myself, but as I said, I'll share this with anybody that will listen. Because I was here for 10 years, I was here for 2 years as a player, so I know the place pretty good. So this is a shout out because it takes a village to make dreams come true. McHenry and Garrett College are that village for our athletes. This includes over the years the maintenance department that they secure these beautiful facilities. The Murrays, Ron Mitchell, and others that would provide housing over the years. The business office, the administration, the registrar's office, the financial aid office, and of course the faculty. All these people came together to provide lifelong memories and love for Garrett College for all of our athletes, not just Toby, not just Mike and Toby. Toby Stone. I've known Toby since he was in Little League. He's just a couple years older than our son, so I've watched Toby day in and day out since he was 10 years old. I watched him in high school and American Legion. Through it all, Toby remained constant and steadfast in his commitment to respect everyone around him. Teammates, coaches, opposing players, officials, fans, everyone. He remained committed to discipline, to integrity, and of course, baseball. His leadership, by example, set the tone in every dugout he stepped foot in. He was on a freshman team. He was on a team loaded with freshmen. And still that team set records and was the Maryland JUCO champion. Division I, Maryland JUCO championship. Following a successful year and after transferring to Davis College, he pitched the game of his life. A New York Met scout was at that game to watch another player. And after Toby caught his attention, the rest, as they say, is history. Toby became the second player from Garrett College to step onto a major league field and walk to a major league mound to pitch for a major league team. started his career on an Oklahoma team in rural Garrett County, where baseball was always challenged by the weather. Toby is one that truly speaks to the phrase, "You gotta believe." And how ironic that phrase came from Tubby McGraw, who was also a New York Met. But Toby lived that life. You gotta believe. Toby was drafted in the 16th round by the New York Mets. Toby told me once he wished for nothing else but to play baseball at Garrett College. While Garrett County has a long, deep, and respected list of baseball players, the fact that a little boy went to his local college and fulfilled his dream of pitching in the major leagues is indeed something that the Garrett College Village is very, very proud of. Toby pitched in major leagues for the New York Mets in 2009 and 2010. Ladies and gentlemen, Toby Stoner.
Someone said a long time ago to me, when I get nervous speaking to big group of people, to imagine the crowd or the guests naked. Well, I saw the voting section and I saw a couple of my coaches, and I totally need to reevaluate my decisions. I got to have a different approach. But as Coach Wilson said, a local boy came from a small school. And my success is not because of just me, it's because of a lot of people that are involved in my success. My development started with my mom and my dad. My dad is my hero. Endless days working on baseball. We love to get behind us at Rockford Fields, taking ground balls, pop-ups, working on pitching, hitting. If I miss the ball, I had to run to the outfield, throw it in, the next ball comes as a fly ball way higher than any little leaguer will ever hit, ever. If a ball took the bat off and hit me, and I cried, the next one's coming a little bit harder. That taught me toughness, taught me adversity, to never give up. And that got me through Little League Baseball, got me in high school, and then eventually to the major leagues. But I want to start by thanking all my coaches, my Little League coaches that all had a say and a part in my success growing up. And I want to tell a story about Coach Jim Moses whenever I got to varsity at Southern High School. I don't know the situation of the at-bat that was, but I smoked the ground ball, one ball right to first base. I didn't get out of the box. Did not get out of the box. Those 2 outs, I was out before I left got out of the chalk line. And I jogged down first base. That was the last time I had ever jogged to first base. Even as a professional. Coach chose me, reamed me the whole way back across that dime until I went out my glove to go out to the field. But that stuck with me even now. He taught me to respect the game. You're never better the game. You're never above the game. And that stuck with me. That stuck with me. I see a lot of the players showboating and kind of cut corners and being a little bit lazy, but that never happened. And that's because of the standard that Coach Josie sets on high school. And that carried over to Garrett College, Coach Wilson. That's whenever the baseball as a game kind of became like a man's sport now. It's not just about boys having fun. Never forget day one, Coach. Day one, we were here feeling it, we had the dugout. We needed to go to the outfield, get him some stretch and pull up. Coach Wilson got us together, and I don't know if you guys have looked across the street, across Moss Road, there's a mountain. And Coach said, "Now we're going to run. We're going to run over this hill. And when we get there, we're going to sprint up the steepest part." And I think we did about seven sprints. And Coach ran with us. And when we got done, Coach said, "Don't let me beat you back." He didn't do the sprints with us, he just jogged over. So we had to do these mountain climbing sprints. And Coach didn't beat, you get a couple back, not too many. But it was that day he weeded out the men for boys. He weeded out the ones who wanted to be there, and are going to give it all to be there, and the ones who thought they were just going to come here and continue to play baseball as they did in high school and Little League. It's a different level. And I can't thank coaches enough for doing that to get me ready for not just baseball, but for life. Hard work, expectations, standards, respect. And that was the start of my man of baseball. And then Coach Garrett, I'm so glad you're here tonight. Thank you for coming. And Coach Garrett, my sophomore year, and did not drop the ball whatsoever. He picked up that right Coach Wilson left off whenever he left. Going to Davis Ellis College, my coach, I found this out later on, Coach Ron Brisbane, who's coaching down in Texas now. He told me later on after it didn't matter, he told me he went to the athletic director to get me scholarship money to go there. And Coach got to watch me play 2 leagues or 2 summers in the Hillbilly Hardball Classic down in West Virginia. We played on the Davis Ellis Field. And he got to watch me pitch and play. And he went to his athletic director after that time, and he said, "I want this kid." I said, "We need this kid." He said, "I don't know what it is, but he has it." He said, "I don't know what it is, but he has it." And to this day, I don't know what it is or what it was. But it wasn't just because of me. Everybody had a piece of that. My little league coaches, my high school coach, my college coaches, my family, the community. Everybody had a say in that, whatever it was. And I appreciate that you guys were able to develop it in me so I could live my absolute childhood dream of playing Major League Baseball. So I'd like to end this by thanking Coach Wilson, Coach Holiday, thank you so much for everything that you put together here tonight. It's an honor to be in the class with so many people who have come through the athletic part of Garrett College and for mine to be on that wall. It's definitely an honor. I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you so much.
I have the privilege to announce the next presenters. Sister and cousin of Thea Garland, Eric Green, and Nina Newby.
First, I'd like to congratulate all the inductees into the Hall of Fame. Your achievements didn't go unnoticed, and you are now considered legendary in this college. It's an honor to be introducing my cousin Thea Garland to the Hall of Fame. Thea Garland, head coach of women's basketball here. Thea Garland was born and raised in Piedmont, West Virginia. She was 6 out of 9 children from the Garland family. She was a standout athlete at Piedmont High School. She was a member and captain of the women's basketball softball team. Each of her 4 years, she was selected to the Total Conference, region, and all-state teams. Thea was also a member of the Piedmont Roadrunners softball team. She gathered her team in numerous championships and selected as MVP almost in every tournament. Thea graduated in 1975. After graduating from high school, Thea attended Tacoma State College, Fairmont State College, and Marshall University, which she was a member of the women's basketball, softball, and lacrosse teams. She gathered teams in numerous championships and set records that still haven't been broken to this day. Due to her outstanding play, she was selected to participate in the Goodwill Games for softball and won 2 Gold Glove awards. She was selected as an All-American basketball and softball. Not only was she an amazing athlete, but she was an outstanding student by graduating with a double major. She obtained a BA degree in business and a master's degree in physical education and health. Theodore's basketball coaching began at Potomac State College. She was the coach of the men's, assistant coach of the men's basketball program in the late 1990s. Thea joined Garrett College coaching staff as an assistant coach for the 2003 season, which they won the championship that year under head coach Steve Wilson. If you look on that ball back there in 2004, 2005, 2007, 2008, that was part of Thea's legacy here. She was able to help coach those ladies to win championships that forever those ladies will always remember. If anybody's here from the players and coaches are here today, could you please stand up? Come on, stand up. But they have numerous championships here, and I think that's probably one of the main reasons why she should be inducted. Thea served as a resident assistant managing the campus student living. Thea was a huge recruiter for Garrett College, being able to encourage student athletes to buy into this great environment and history of the college, forming a strong bond between students, staff, and the community. After coaching, Thea worked with West Waco Corporation, Blue Pay Incorporated, Blue America. She was very active in the community, where she coached youth sports programs. She was an active member of the Church of God in Christ Piedmont, West Virginia. Thea was dedicated to help anyone in need. So before I leave tonight, I really wanted everybody to understand who Thea was. You guys knew her as a coach, but our family, we knew her as this great basketball and softball player up in Piedmont, West Virginia. So I'm going to read this little poem called Thea. Basketball is Thea's favorite sport. She looked so smooth, she dribbled up and down the court. Thea was quick and fast. Her favorite move was throwing that Magic Johnson low pass. Thea loved to drive and paint. She hit them with a crossover that would make the opposing player almost faint. There were players who would stop and stare. Some would foul hard, she wouldn't even swear. Thea would make guys become upset. She had guys on the sideline taking bets. Making bets to shut her down, Thea made them all look like clowns. Everyone in town knew this girl could play. Thea was one bad little sucker that would beat you on anything. I seen her make moves, not with nobody would guard her anymore. She would get the ball, shoot, and score. Thea could play this wonderful game called basketball, but that's not the reason why Garrett College selected her to be in the hall. When her playing days were over and she hung up in trunks, she spent time coaching, encouraging kids to school to defend something. She decided to go up on the mountain to a school near Deep Creek Lake. She took the attitude that I'm going to coach and make this basketball program great. Within a few seasons, she got Garrett to the top. She then decided, I reached my goal, now it's time to stop. I remember the day they told me Thea had passed. I'm comforted knowing she's up there at the door, probably trying to teach him how to throw a road pass. Thea, I know you're listening and looking down. Your family, friends, and the community want you to know you made us proud. On behalf of this honor today, I would like to ask Thea's sister, Nina Garland Wilson, to come up and accept this award.
former baseball coach at Garrett College, and an inaugural member of the Hall of Fame class of 2015. He's also coached at Fairmont State University, Frostburg State University, Frederick Community College, and is now assistant Garrett College as an assistant baseball coach. Phil, would you please come forward?
I have two that I'll be presenting tonight. Before beginning, I had one of my former players who came up today, Earl Garrett, sitting down here, one of my shortstop, and I showed him around the facility we have here right now. Guys, been here 50 years past, seeing this now, transforming this college, this campus. He said to me, I got hurt in the second year. You could recruit me now if you want to. And it's astounding what we have here. Also, all the colleges in America that have played baseball for 50 years, I need to mention, every single coach in this college is here tonight. I'm not too sure many schools in the country can say that. It's a great legacy laid down here by Denny Garrett many years ago, the guys, the cornerstones of this college. My first inductee tonight is Mike Nagel, who not here because of health reasons in Montana. Mike Nagel played with me for 2 years and was the first player ever drafted at Garrett College. He went on and is now administrator of 3 hospitals in California. His high school record, Denny went to his office one day and said, Bill, how did you get this kid? I said, what do you mean, how did I get this kid? He said, his record in high school was 22. I said, no, I thought that was his high school record. She said, no, that was his record. And I said, well, I did try to get recruit Sean Dutchess one time, so I guess I got lucky with this one. So, Mike was a finalist at the Pan Am Games. He was a finalist at the Pan Am Games, where just like Cat, he was competing against guys in Miami, USC, and Texas. And he represented Garrett to the final cut of the Pan Am Games. He was drafted here in the 32nd round out of Garrett, and the moment was never too big for Mike to play here. He, I guess his crowning moment was the final game of the playoffs. Philadelphia scout came up to me and he said, when is Mike pitching? I said, he's pitching this game here, it's civil ordination, he's got to go to the first game. He said, I'll be back in about an hour and a half. The game was over, went out 45 minutes. Mike won the game. At the time, I believe he set the school record for strikeouts, 15 in that game. And so the scout came back and said, is the game over? I said, yeah, no, about a half hour. I told you. Mike was on the hill, probably should have stayed around. Anyway, we got drafted by the end of that year. So Mike will be inducted tonight. He's in Montana. He's not in good health, but Eric will be sending out the plaque to him. My second inductee tonight is a gentleman by the name of Tim Bishop. Tim Bishop is from Connellsville, Pennsylvania. And I went to see him one day on a hunt from a scout. And before the game, I asked the coach, they said, who's Tim Bishop? What position playing? I'm looking for first baseman. And he said to me, well, he's not going to play first base, he's going to be DH today. Our first baseman, who later on be a linebacker, West Virginia University, he's going to play first base. He said, wow, we got a stacked lineup, he's not playing first base. So anyway, in the second inning, he gets up, he's a DH. And you know when you're a young man playing little league ball in the open field, or you're playing in the backyard with some of your best friends, and the big kid gets up, and the outfielders do this. Well, there was no presence in puzzles at the time. When Tim got up, the outfielders stepped back about 25 feet and go, holy mackerel, who is this kid? Well, the second pitch, he hit the line shot about 425 feet, and the center fielder ran it down. Second time up, he hits another shot about 4 feet in the open field, run down again. Well, why was the outfielder playing this team like good? So after the game is over, his coach, after the game goes over, he said, I'll take that shot at the DH designated first base for you guys. And he, along with Martin Harvey, came from Garrett. So we were fortunate enough to have one of the most prolific colleagues in the history of the school, in my opinion, is Martin Power. When he left here, he set the home run record, I believe, at the time. I think 14, 15 at the time. That's somebody with, at the time he transferred out here to Flagler College. When I called him about being nominated for the Hall of Fame here, I want to get a little more details about what he did in Flagler. He's a very modest, quiet kid. This is the most talk tonight. Might even get 45 seconds out of you if you big. Not I'm giving this for tonight. But he's not one who says much about himself. He's very quiet, unassuming, and just said, well, how'd you do it at Flagler? It was 2 years down there. Did you win the MVP? Were you all conference? Did you do anything especially? He just said, Coach, I was there for 2 years ago, but like 1 year, he said, I made the all-decade team just playing there 2 years. I said, in the 80s? Yeah, I made the all-decade team. I said, well, I don't even know any more about MVPs. We're all district teams. You're an all-decade player at Flagler College. So with that being said, I would like to present tonight for this introduction, Mr. Tim Bishop.
That is here now, that is something to be the whole community player. opportunities, and some of my guys I played with. It was in St. Augustine, Florida. It was obviously playing up north to have an opportunity to go to Florida was no doubt. Another little story with Coach, he took me up to Cleveland State. I had an opportunity to go to Cleveland State, got one heck of an offer. Went out there, looked around, they took us to Cleveland Stadium, would have got to play a couple games there for where they played and everything. And they said, oh, by the way, we're going to get you to the batting cage. Well, we go up now, maybe somewhere else. And by the way, it's on 7-4, so someone allowed me to do it. I'm like, well, that's fine. Walk down the steps down the street, there's a telephone pole there. Missing person, missing person, missing person, missing person. And I'm thinking, well, he told me, I didn't say much. He said, I lasted about 5 minutes and went on the rest. I don't think that's nothing no more. And then we had several players that were from Garrett, you know, the year before I played here, were already down to 5. So it was an easy choice. You know, make decisions now, when you know you're going down to play 60, 70, 80 games, you know, a year and everything. And that was, you know, that was just another opportunity. My only mistake was, Coach down there is Earl Gift over here. I asked him today, too. I said, did you learn anything while you were a flagger? Unfortunately, the answer was no. I ended up having a pretty good career. I played the first year, had an okay year. I come back here, and some guys down here from the Strawberry team. I played for the Strawberry Magicians and All-Star team. Played a couple games with them. They got me a tryout for the Pirates. Went down, did the tryout as a pitcher. They only offered a couple people to come back 2 days later to hit. I got off the bat. We had a game the next day. I broke a leg. Next, then I sat out the whole year, would have been my senior year flagger. But then they changed the rule down there where Division I teams were limited on games. So we were in AI at the time. Division I teams dropped us because, of course, they didn't want to play us. They didn't want to play 1, 2, or 3 division teams. I sat out the year, my last year down there. I had a really good year, but he always thought I broke my leg playing softball. So my last year, he did nothing, but he really didn't win anyhow because I didn't learn any more baseball, unfortunately, since I left here. So I had a really good year, and unfortunately, I didn't get the love of these guys. I'm proud of all you guys. You know, go from here, play pro, and make it to the pros. Be very, very proud of yourself. I'm still proud of the man I turned out to be. When I was a flagger, I started earning. I went to part of my classes in group homes to teach the younger kids at times special events. Well, 38 years later, I still work in a group home with a mental handicap. And along the way, I started I had my lawn care business for 31 years. So the coach and people learning from Garrett, you know, hard work gets you somewhere in life, you know, there's no doubt about it. And I'm just proud of all this. Something doesn't need to come up like this. You know, a lot of my friends did it, you know, they paid their money to get their dues and everything else along the way. This was totally out of the blue. Proud of the whole community. And, you know, coaches for giving me my first opportunity like that. And, you know, getting me here. I'm so proud of myself. I wish I would have got the opportunity that some of you guys got, but, you know, that's not what I always thought. I mean, still, we're not the younger class. I thought maybe I would be the older one of the bunch. I might be the youngest one of the bunch. But, no, thank you, colleague, Coach Eric, and especially this guy here. He's still a special person. That's why I love us. But, thank you all. Like I said, this is a hard class to follow, and proud of everybody that's getting in once again. Thank you.
I would now like to introduce the next presenter, Robert Deutsch. Robert
Robert is the brother of Mark Bush. Robert, please come up on the podium, please.
Good evening. First off, I'd like to thank the administration and also Garrett College for having me and my family here tonight and for all my brother. Also, I'd like to congratulate all of the being inducted tonight. Great job on that. It's a pretty crazy thing. It's 50 years ago. I was a 7-year-old coming here at college, dropping my brother off, and he was with his roommate. Rob Catholic was also his high school teammate. And all I can think of is, I'm one step closer to getting my own bed. But a fun fact about my brother Mark, I'm sure he knows it. Mark was voted the third best ever baseball player to come out of our bedroom. My brother Garrett was the second best. Figure out who the first best was. He probably wouldn't think that's me. In all seriousness, Mark's 10 years older than I am, and he paved the way for myself and my brother Garrett for our athletic careers. Mark showed great heart and passion for baseball and basketball. Like I said, I'm 10 years younger than Mark, but he never left me out. If he was going to the gym, going to the field, he was like, come on, we're going to the field, let's go, we're going to the gym, take me on. I didn't always get to play, but I got to see, what he put out there on the field. He also helped me out later in life when I was graduating high school. Mark and his wife Debbie had me out in Florida and got me a job and had me stay with them to just see what I looked like. As Rob spoke earlier, we come from small town Charlotte, and all you do is that small town, and you look across the bridge, and you can see where my dad worked at the steel mill. That was his life. But I can't thank those two enough for taking me in and showing me great help. So with that, I hope you can help me present my brother Mark. It's been a long year, close to a year. I've been looking forward to this for a long time, and I want to start off a little different than most of the inductees, and that is to recognize my family, who is very, very important to me. I'd like to start out, and if you just raise your hand as I go down the list. My granddaughter, Skylar Tucker. She's a left-handed hitter in softball. She's one of the top players on our softball team. Dalton is her little brother. He's 3 years old, and he's going to be a ball player in the Rose. I have Leah and Kayla, my 2 daughters. JP, husband of Kayla. Rob, Kelly, his wife, Gary, and Karen, and I would like to
give a big shout out to my wife, Deborah. Leela Civic. Last but not least, my sister Denise. We've had some tough times over the years. And it's so special that she showed up. It's really supporting. So this is her birthday. So can everybody wish her a happy birthday? It's a very special birthday. I was on the ground floor when this was first being put together by Coach Dasselrod, who was the initial, I'm going to say, started the fire on this induction ceremony. Then Coach Hollenbeck caught fire with this induction. Joe Caruso also kicked in. And it just snowballed. So all I heard as this was going on for the last year was how this is going to be the Mount Rushmore of all things. And I got thinking about that, and I said, well, this is not really Mount Rushmore. We got 4 dead presidents on Mount Rushmore. It just didn't make any sense. So I got thinking, I said, why don't we go over to the West and work out something with the West on put it on the face of the mountain. Put pictures there, or maybe you can go to just hard our initials in the trees. Okay? But this is not Mount Rushmore. This is Mount McKinley. Okay? This is a very, very special induction ceremony. There's a lot of big grass here. I want to thank Coach Garrett, who started my ball rolling back in the day, but it wasn't him initially that recruited me. I was recruited by a basketball coach by the name of Don Dallas. And I had to remind Coach about this earlier. He said, I didn't know we recruited you for basketball, which was probably my first love. I wanted to play basketball. So it went on, and we made the high school playoffs. I'm out there pitching Coach Garrett and Coach Dallas. So they both show up at the game. Said, this is great, they're in a baseball game, they're interested. Well, they discovered another player. Cat Whitfield, probably one of the best or the best shortstop I ever played ball with. Minor leagues, college, it didn't matter. He's the best friend a man can have, and the best supportive player a man can have. He covered third base to second base, he didn't even need the third base. You could have taken your third base and put it over down to second base now. This cat had shortstop covered from base to base. No doubt, I seen him make plays in high school that were just astronomical. So we're at the ball game, and coaches come up to me after the game, and it's a great game. We played in Perry office. And they said, we want to talk to Cat Whitfield. Talk to Cat Whitfield. So they got talking to Cat, and being good friends like we were, we decided to come to Garrett, come see Garrett, and let's go to school. Well, we roomed together, and there's stories about he and I that I can't say out loud, especially with my wife in the room. Cat said, yes. But good times, great friends, we stayed friends for 50 years. Since even before that, in high school. And then Cat picked up better friends with Cat. And I remember many times turning around to him when I was on pitcher's mound, and Cat would say, just throw it over the plate. We'll get him out. Great. Steve Diddick, who also played here, he was my second baseman. He's a 2-time Gold Glover. Okay? Coach liked him so much, he named his son after him. Okay, so I got Cat Whitfield, I got Steve Diddick. It Garrett, second base and shortstop. Well, in the Legion ball, back home I had Cat Whitfield on short, Steve Diddick second. My center fielder was Joe Montana.
Cattle Town also was stupendous. They were out of this world. Okay? But Joe Montana and I were both pitchers on the team. He was the right and I was the left. We should have won the state championship, but Joe had to go to a big 33 football game, and he missed his turn, so we threw our third, fourth, fifth best pitchers, ended up losing the state championship. So, I was very fortunate to play in Charlotte. We were winners in baseball. We didn't do as great in football and basketball, but in baseball, it was a breeding ground for great athletes. We had a friend, Bobby Mays, who played in the Pittsburgh Pirates, but that was the standard in Charlotte. We won. We won, and there was, we couldn't, losing was right in us. We never lost. We always won. So when Coach Garrett spotted the Charlotte baseball team, we should have taken about 3 or 4 more players, but he got a couple good players that helped his program. Okay, I want to mention a special person here. He's kind of a spy. I played ball in the Davis and Elvis. He was my catcher. But he went to Allegheny Community College prior to the Davis and Elvis. But he was a hell of a catcher. And I just want to recognize him. His name is Paul Ackerman, sitting right up here in the front. And then we're running his career, Ben, Top Paul, after this is over. But he was a great receiver. A lot of good things. He caught 4 of the top pitchers in the Davis Mountains, well, in the West Virginia Conference. We had one just recently. Kevin Logan just got inducted this past Saturday. Myself, I was one of the ones originally inducted. Dick Harvey, and we have a 4th, Doug Crozier. We were the top 9 ERA in the whole West Virginia Conference back in 1978. So with that, I'm going to end, and thank you, thank everybody. I've really been looking forward to this for a long time. Again, I want to thank Coach Almack. I do have one more thing to say. Lars Masselrod and I became good friends. A lot of you do know him. He's a coach at West Virginia Tech. Went to Garrett and then off Davis Mountains. We became good friends on the phone. We met. We just enjoyed each other's company, stayed in touch. And he was one of the ones originally to help get this ball rolling. He's a very, very, very special friend. Thank you, Lars. Thank you.
I would like to now introduce our next presenter, Paul Wallen-Judge. Paul is a former teammate and roommate of Mike Saturday. Would you please come forward and introduce us?
Good evening. This is special to me as well. Garrett College has always been very special to me. Lots of friendships and truly blessed to be here. Well, 50 years ago, 2 skinny kids, one from Morgantown, one from Pittsburgh, met, and we became roommates, teammates, and friends ever since. For those of you who remember, at the bottom of the hill was a country castle. We stayed above there in an apartment, and I got out first, and I was unpacking. About 20 minutes later, Mike arrived. And I looked over, and I'm like, wow, look at this guy. 6'10", athletic. We're going to be like great at center position. This is awesome. So we settled in, and about 2 hours later, I looked over like, wait a second, this guy's 6'6". He ain't 6'10". And my car was dressed good. He was almost his style. I didn't realize he had 4-inch heel platform shoes on. So I went in front, a little discouraged, but I didn't realize when he played like he was 6'10". He had 984 points, 683 rebounds, 24 one game. Those rebounds are still records. Coach Bosa and I were talking about the assists. I can tell you we didn't spend a whole lot of time looking. But two-time MVP of the team, all JUCO Maryland first team, all region 20 All-Star. As I mentioned before, these statistics, all these statistics, they speak for themselves. What a player was Garrett. But now I want to talk about the important stuff. He spent his professional life, 36 years in education. He was recruited harder as a teacher than he was as a basketball player. 7 different schools, 3 states, did a fantastic job, 4 different positions, athletic director, teacher, vice principal, and principal. Students range from kindergarten to 12th grade. You know, he was around thousands of students that he helped. So quite a career in teaching as well. In his community, he was a volunteer coach for the youth organization. He spent 4 years as an assistant coach at Southern High School, where he mentored and coached players, so was a big help to the coaches in the community as well. Currently, the pastor at Pastor Lake Church. He's been there for 10 years. It's been a help to his members and the community as well. You know, if you have a problem, they have a problem in Garrett County, they knew Mike was always there. His family life was a loving and kind and giving husband to his beautiful wife, Diane. A terrific father and loving dad to his 2 children, Jessica and Michael. And Michael's not a great-grandfather yet, but he is a great-grandfather. He loves his grandchildren. We talk about them all the time. Like 6 of them. Clinton, Grace, Isaac, Luke, and David. He loves his grandchildren. I just look forward to how long he's going to care for them and love them in the future. And me personally, he's been a terrific friend. I've known him for 50 years. We've laughed a lot together. We've shed some tears together. And, you know, we've prayed together. He's been a terrific friend, and I hope for many more years. Let me introduce you to my friend and my brother in Christ, like I said.
Good to be here with you this evening, and I want to congratulate all the inductees this year. I've done many of you, and I've done some of you last night, I've done them before, and I'm just honored to be a part of this class. And if memory serves me correctly, I paid you back. So I think we're even, I think. I'm not 100% sure. I was looking at the program, looking at the pictures, and as I was scanning through this, if you look through it likewise, there's one picture. They're all either just hanging out, or they're playing the sport, or they're doing, and I was in the library. I was the one who kept breaking the average up to the team, and for the athletic department, you're welcome. I'll be honest with you, I'm here this evening with
Let me start so. So, in 1972, I was a skipping strong kid from Morgan County. And my high school that I went to, 2 years, my freshman year, they were, I believe, 26-1. And did not win the state championship. They were 26-1. My sophomore year, they won the state championship. And at the end of in March of my sophomore year, the basketball coach comes up to me and he says, Mike, would you like to play basketball next year? And I didn't understand about that at all. I kind of looked at it. And it was a kind of probably a dumb look because every team I ever tried for, I was like, never made a team, couldn't play or play. He says, well, if you'll get to the game, I'll teach you how to play. And I said, okay, not knowing anything about what I was going to get into. And so this little guy took me under his wings, we went to work. And we worked, and we worked, and we worked, and we worked, all throughout the spring season, and the summer, and going into the fall and the winter. And he introduced me then, his name is Belchin, sitting right there. He then introduced me to his assistant coach, which is back over there, named John Ellis. And I was just a scrawny little kid, and John Ellis just got back from Vietnam. Thank you, Coach. And I was scared to death. See, it's Vietnam vet right there. But he gave me an opportunity. And I learned, and I played hard. And we ended up winning the state championship my junior year, came up a dime short, a nickel short my senior year. But at the end of my senior year, it was time to start looking to see what I wanted to do. And I wanted to go on and play basketball. Basketball first, education second. Give you my picture, it's in the library. And I looked at a lot of different schools. So anyway, I couldn't figure out where I wanted to go. And one day, Coach Shearno, Coach Dallas shows up in high school and they said, well, why don't you come up and pick up for college? And Coach Belchin brought me up here. It was so foggy. He couldn't understand it. It was so foggy, we drove right by the college. Did not say that we knew we were wrong. We turned around, came back, and we found out college, went in, took a little tour of the school, 3 buildings. We went out with him and worked out the basketball team. And somebody told me that this is where I need to be. So I came. So about the third week at school, I met this little girl. And in my opinion, she's the most beautiful girl in town. She's one of the smartest. We started dating. And at the end of 2 years, it was time to move on, and I wasn't going to drown myself as we got there. You know, when I look back at life and how things go, you know, I don't know what you believe. You know, there's just a pastor at church, so which is a bit of an idea of what I believe. But I believe that going back, if you know anything about the Bible, then you can see where God has his plans for us. Even when you're in mother's womb, the Bible says, He knew all about you. And I believe in my own personal life, and in the life of my life, He had a plan for us. He had a plan for me to play basketball, to come to Garrett County and be hurt. Basketball's been good to me. I've learned so much about life, the competition, the teamwork, the camaraderie, all those intricate parts is involved that we take on the honor of playing games. And I certainly appreciate Coach Garrett, Coach Dow's giving that opportunity to come and play. And great teammates. Paul is one of those. What he didn't say is the apartment that we lived in. It was one bedroom apartment with 3 beds, bunk beds, and a full-size bed. And the arrangement was we were going to rotate. And he stayed in that full-size bed all year, and I had to talk about it. But, yeah, you failed to mention that. But I had great teammates. Warren Lee, I know, is here. I'd like to thank Warren because Warren knew how to pass the ball to us. And I wouldn't score points for it if I did if it wasn't for you. Wouldn't say the offensive rebounds or the rebound records I said if it wasn't for the fact that this is a really shot and 80 rebounds back then. Didn't say any assist records. I believe in the dark hole. Something didn't need to fall back out. Just so appreciative of Garrett Community College, Garrett College. My wife and I would talk all the time about Garrett and the times we had here. How special. How special. So I'd like to thank you. I've been up there long enough with tears. Maybe a little bit like I can do this.
Obviously,
By the way, when he's teaching me how to play, he always thinks you're rude.
very true. Before I start, I taught speech in high school, and I'm glad you mentioned that thing about naked people because I was worried about that too. So I'm glad you brought that up. I thought I was the only one worried about that. I might like to end with a poem. It's a very special poem. I've got it in my office. It's one that I think a lot of you have heard. And it's called God's Hall of Fame. By no way is it saying anything about wonderful things that everybody's accomplished here tonight, but we all know that there is something about life here. I think you'll like this if you've never heard it. It's wonderful. Your name may not appear down here in the World's Hall of Fame. In fact, you may not even be very well known. There's no one who knows your name. The Oscars and the praise of men may never come your way. But don't forget, God has rewards that He'll be handing out someday. This Hall of Fame is only good as long as time shall be. But keep in mind, God's Hall of Fame is for eternity. To have your name inscribed up there is greater, more by far, than all the fame and all the praise of every man and his star. The crowd on earth, they soon forget when you're not on at the top. They'll cheer like mad until you fall, and then their praise will stop. Not God. He never does forget. And in His Hall of Fame, by just believing on His Son, forever there's your name. I tell you, friends, I wouldn't trade my name, however small, that's written there beyond the stars in that celestial hall. For all the famous names on earth or glory that we share, I'd rather be in an unknown year and have my name up there.
I'd like to ask Coach Wilson, please come back up here to present our next Hall of Fame inductee, please. Coach Wilson.
I have two stories I'd like to share with you regarding Mike Johnson. And I was trying to think of the best places to insert this as I share my message with you, what I know about Mike in early years. So I thought I'd start with how I come to find out about Mike. So if you've seen that movie, National Lampoon Christmas Vacation, there's a scene in there where Jim Chase finally gets the lights to work in the house. And he's so proud of those lights. And the family's there, and everyone comes out and looks at it, and they all congratulate him. And he comes over to he's not looking, he's not paying attention to the bodies, these people over there. The last person he comes over to, he looks at him, and the guy goes, "Those lights look fabulous, Laura." So Chevy Chase goes, "Thank you, Eddie." He goes, "Eddie? Eddie?" So the reason I share that story with you is I'm lying in bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, and the phone rings. And I pick up the phone, and the guy goes, "Eddie, I got a picture for you. I got a picture for you." I said, kind of like Chuck Chase, I said, "Hixie?" He goes, "Yeah, it's Hixie." I said, "Hixie, it's 2 o'clock in the morning." Now, Hixie is Daryl Hicksball, a scout for the St. Louis Cardinals. And he lives in Pennsylvania, lives in Charlotte, I believe, at that time. I said, "Hixie, it's 2 o'clock in the morning." He says, "Eddie, I don't care. Call this kid. Call him right now." I said, "Hixie, it's 2 o'clock in the morning." He says, "Eddie, I don't care. You've got to get this kid." So somehow I got Daryl like Hixie like. So I got off the phone at 2 o'clock in the morning. I did not call Mike at 2 o'clock in the morning. I did call him the next morning. So with that, I can share with you that when Mike visited here for the first time, besides his physical presence capturing my attention, his calm and mature demeanor that he demonstrated during the entire visit made me full aware that we had to have this guy. Hixie was right. Though, I must tell you, Mike has always kept that little kid love of life in him. His approach, coupled with his physical tools and talent, I knew his future had unlimited promise. Scouts and coaches throughout the college baseball world were constantly asking about Mike and how he was doing. And you heard this before. Mike soon became the first player from Garrett College to step onto a major league field and walk to a major league mound to pitch for a major league team. While at Garrett, Mike compiled a 2-2 record with the ERA of 1.36 with a 90-mile-per-hour plus fastball. He was drafted in the 20th round of the Major Pirates Major League roster in 2004 out of spring training, despite never pitching past the Double-A level. So he's pitching in Pittsburgh. This is the second story. So I get the bright idea, we're going to go up and surprise him up at PNC Park. So we load up and go, myself, Jay, and Scott. So we go up to PNC Park. I knew it was in the bullpen. We get tickets to the bullpen. We didn't tell them we were coming. We go out there. We sit in the bullpen. We're early. Finally, the players come out. And the players come out of the dugout. The bullpen players start making towards the dugout. There's a line coming out. And I'm looking. And I'm looking. He's not there. It's like, okay, when they come into the bullpen, we'll see it. It's just tomorrow. They come into the bullpen, straight bullpen. They all come into the bullpen, he comes down, and I'm scanning, I'm looking. He's not there. It's like, you have got to be kidding me. So I went to talk to an attendant at the stadium, kind of told him the story. I said, can you see what you can find out? And bless that guy's heart, he did. That attendant went and found out. He came back, he found us. He said, he's in the dugout. He's in the dugout for tonight's game. He's here, but he's in the dugout. So that put my mind at ease. We're gonna see it. So I did a little bit more digging. I found out where the players exit the stadium. So we go there and we wait for him. And finally, here comes Mike. And the look on his face, I'll never forget. And we talk, it's dark, and we're outside the stadium. Everybody else left. And so we're saying our goodbyes. And I said, Mike, where's your car? Where's your driver? And he looks at me and goes, Coach, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. He was walking to his apartment in Pittsburgh. You want to talk about a site straight out of the 40s and 50s, back in the day when players were players and they could do things like that. That was just a cool thing to behold. But I'll finish up by saying this. To research Mike and to see in his bio, college attended, Garrett College, speaks volumes about Mike being a former athlete of ours. Mike's commitment to his goals and allowing Garrett College to be the pathway to that goal truly aligns with the mission of this Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Johnson.
How y'all doing? All right, so I am not a public speaker, so bear with me, and I'm going to try not to get emotional. How beautiful is this area? I've been here 25 years. I feel like the facility's grown. It's amazing here. It's so peaceful. First off, I just want to say congratulations to all the adoptees. Anything that brings this college is like what we're achieving here, and the impact of that on our lives. It speaks volumes. It's just your emotion. Never one of your speeches. I feel it too. I love it here. It's my second home. Anyway, it's an incredible honor, and I stand before you today as adopted college, Garrett College Athletic Hall of Fame. The recognition brings back flood memories and filled gratitude for the experiences and the people who shaped my journey. Right, Garrett College is a city that I grew up outside Philadelphia. I'll tell my words. So I dropped out of high school when I was in 10th grade. I grew up really bad. I dressed that up, but I had a lot of tics back in the day. I had a lot of interactions with other students, which was sick. But I dropped out. I thought my playing days were over, but when I was working at the airport, working overnight, and had an opportunity to go play beach ball with my team to play with in Little League, and I took the opportunity. So I was working overnight at the airport, and I was able to play baseball on the weekend. So one of the tryouts, I was pitching, and just playing the game we love, and coming off the field, a scout came over me, Carol Hickson-Ball. He was like, "Who the hell are you?" I said, "I'm Mike Johnson." He said, "Where are you playing high school ball?" I said, "I'm not." He's like, "Well, we got to get you playing somewhere." He was like, "You're still 97 miles an hour." We got to get you something. And that's what I love about the coach. And the coach took the opportunity, the chance on me to bring me in a kid who dropped out of school. That's his history, right? And, I had you. So I got out here. So we were talking about the mountain. That mountain is a beast. Had a chance inside Wilson here. First day here, he's like, "All right, boys, maybe 7 a.m. I'm going to run this mountain." I've never seen a mountain before, but let's go for it. And so we started out, we started running. Coach was leading back, leading us behind, like, "Yo, slow down a little bit, coach." He was teaching us to work hard. You better keep up, you're going to get left behind. I got behind on my first run, but over time, I built up strength, built up endurance, and overcame that hill. So at first the mountain seemed insurmountable. It was a struggle, a lot of job involved, and just to reach the top day after day, something incredible happened. Each step, with each beat of sweat, I was strong and determined. By the end of my time at Garrett, I was past coach. That mountain became a metaphor for me. From my time at Garrett, it taught me the power of hard work, dedication, the importance of preparation. It instilled in me a work ethic that served me well beyond the line. And it is basically the core of me, what I like to do. Coming from an area where a lot of kids were just who passed over, and nobody really took a personal connection to you, and gave you that interest, and gave you that time to really help them along. And I really need it. I wouldn't be here without the incredible coaches and teachers who guide me, and I have to give a special mention to Coach Wilson. Coach Wilson is a great coach. He was a solid role model, a genuine good man, on and on. I taught me so much about baseball, more importantly, he showed me how to be a better person, sometimes without even realizing it. Coaches like Coach Wilson provide valuable life lessons simply by being the kind of people that you want to emulate. He was that. Coach Wilson and Coach Cliff, the teachers not only knew I have skills, but also instilled in me the values and focus and discipline that are essential to my success. They were leading me, pushing me to strive for excellence in every aspect of my life. Those lessons learned at Garrett College propelled me with a 14-year baseball professional career, including reaching the pinnacle of my sport in major leagues. It was a dream come true, and I'm forever grateful for the foundation I built here that allowed me to teach. While injuries ultimately cut my playing career short, lessons I learned on that mound, in the classrooms and on the field, continue to pay dividends today in the real world with a real job. I find that hard work, dedication, and focus I cultivated here at Garrett are all making the difference. So I thank you, Garrett College, for this incredible honor. Thank you to my coaches, especially Coach Wilson, my teachers, my teammates, and I'd like to thank my wife for being here as well. I talk about this place all the time, and I think this trip has really got to show her the beauty of this area. And
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I would now like to ask Jordan Kaufman to come forward to present our next inductee. Jordan is the son of Ramon Kaufman.
Hello, good evening, everyone. First, I'd like to start by thanking the college staff and everyone who contributed to putting on this event this evening. Congratulations to all of those students. My name is Jordan Kaufman. I'm the son of Ron Kaufman, or his friends and family I like to call Ron. It's an absolute honor to be here tonight to present to you my father's to the Garrett College alumni. Before I highlight my dad's playing career, I'd like to start by highlighting a few of my favorite memories of who he is to me as a father. For as long as I can remember, my dad and I always shared a strong passion for one thing, sports, but especially baseball. And while baseball took precedence for him as a sport, he always provided me opportunities to present to me all sports. Like the time that he tried to take me to a high school wrestling match at the age of 4, maybe 5 years old, which ended up being shorter than this and told by the time I sat down and said to him, Dad, this sport's boring, where's the ball? And as you can imagine, this was no problem on my father. While growing up, I was more knowledge on my dad's pitching career. To me, he was a coach. An early core memory for me was watching my dad on the baseball field doing more coaching, what I believe is amateur AAA game in Johnstown. I'm not quite sure at that point we realized that his coaching career in particular, he received by years and years of coaching me in baseball and coaching from my 2 sisters in softball. Even long after we all grew up, he's been coaching so many people from softball to basketball and golf. And no one wants to go to the suit without holding with that. My dad has an knack for teaching the fundamentals, the way they're close to the top. All those who played for him throughout the years truly benefited from his immense knowledge of game and coaching, but even more so for how he looked at his players in life and hospitals. And for me, I had to really do it. Naturally, from the age of about 5 to 17, with a 2-minute walk to the hometown moving fields for PMS and house house. My dad had not too many kids around me growing up that to take PPE up in 1981 when I was drafted. And trust me, if I ever asked him, is that all you got? He'd be quick to eat things up, or maybe to change up and show me that he was still that guy. But from the BP to the buckets of Congo to the long toss to the floor, his passion became my passion. So thank you, Dad, for showing me the baseball in the way that he did. Now, my life more than ever, I'm grateful for all those memories, for the lessons both in sport and in life, and most importantly, for the time spent and the true friendship we have today. And as for Ron Kaufman, the pitcher, in his improbable journey from Rockwood, Pennsylvania, population in 1980, 1,050 people, I've always admired and looked up to, especially to knowing where you started to where you've been. From Garrett to Davis Mountains, Davenport, Iowa, Geneva, New York, Salinas, California, Des Moines, Iowa, and Texas. It is gratifying to get to take tonight to reflect, even if just for a few hours, on a very successful baseball life. And while many of your highlights are shared in the induction article, including your 1982 Quad City season, 10 wins, 5 losses, and 17 saves, I'd like to share one that knows that I did for me when I stuff like that. 1983 Salinas Cubs against Visalia Oaks in Single A, California League. And trust me, I've referenced check time multiple times. You faced 10-time All-Star, lifetime 300 hitter, Major League Hall of Fame, and career top, struck out swinging on 4 pitches. Now, I can't recount the exact quote, but I've always remember hearing that story and you were one of the best baseball pitchers And while for me it's nice to revel in that story, you rarely ever do. For you, it's something about all the highlights or successful seasons, but more so the way you did it, with class and respect to the game, and the lasting impact on others that you shared with me. To me, God has been an example, the example for me all the way through my life, as a dad, coach, athlete, best friend. So again tonight, it's my honor to present to you Garrett College Hall of Fame inductee, Mount Olive.
We only believe the classes. Thank you, Jordan, for the presentation, sharing this evening with your dad. Thank you to the athletic department, the Hall of Fame committee, and Garrett College for this wonderful recognition into your Hall of Fame. Thank you to all my family and friends who are here this evening, and congratulations to all of the 2024 inductees. You know, I started playing Little League Baseball when I was 8 years old, and I developed a passion for the game. And we played almost every day. Whether it was stickball, we used a broomstick and a tennis ball. We played wiffle ball. And you know, if we didn't have enough, right field is an out one inning, and left field is an out the next inning. We always continued to play. If no one was around, my dad made sure that I had a bucket of balls and an old tire that I would put against the garage. And I would throw that target all the time. Even if we weren't playing, after we were playing, that's where I would head. My favorite Major League ball player back then was Johnny Bench. My favorite team was the Cincinnati Reds. I told many people when I was in high school that I was going to be drafted by the Cincinnati Reds because that was my team. But here was my problem. I didn't do well in high school in my classes. I was a C student. I always had a ball in my hand and I would rather be in the gym. But I had no plans to go to college. And then Teddy Fearnow came along. And I'm not sure, now he told me beforehand that he did watch me play baseball, but I remember meeting him after a high school basketball game. He and Paul Horseshoe, an old basketball coach here as well, and his assistant, came to a basketball game and watched me play basketball. And after the game was over, they said, we would be interested in you coming to Garrett Community College. And I accepted this offer, and I'm so glad that I made that decision to play for you today. Thank you. I was nervous and excited at the same time to take this next step. The 1977-78 season here at Garrett, we went 27-9. And looking back at some of the box scores, I would pitch in the first game, and somehow I played shortstop in the second game. I'm so glad they didn't have pitch counts back then, because it allowed me to play more. At the end of the season, we were informed Garrett was top of their baseball program. But Coach Fearnow promised us to get us to another college somewhere. That's when Dave Barr came along from Davis College in West Virginia. Davis was another great thing for me. At Elkins, I was only a pitcher. The coach had a great off-season weighted baseball program that helped me develop
to be a better control pitcher as well as gain 3-4 mile-an-hour on my fastball. I became a better pitcher and won many accolades, and I owe a lot of credit to Coach Barr for that. So thank you to Coach Barr. I graduated in May of 1981 with a Bachelor of Science degree in Health and Physical Education, but I wasn't quite done with baseball yet. In June of '81, I was selected by the Chicago Cubs in the 17th round. I was the 417th pick of the draft. My childhood dream came true, and Garrett College was a stepping stone for that journey. The game of baseball allowed me to get an education. It allowed me to travel, and it allowed me to meet some pretty wonderful people along the way. Tonight, I would like to dedicate this honor and this evening to my father. He gave so much time to me over the years to allow all this to happen. He always told me, run on the field, run off the field. You never know who might be watching. Dad, I know you're watching up there tonight. I love you and thank you.
I'd like to ask Coach now to return to the podium to present the last inductee in the 2024 Garrett College Athletics Hall of Fame.
It's my pleasure to introduce Coach Tom Mosley, our newest member of the Hall of Fame. Even though he's the last this evening, in many ways, he's the first. Coach Mosley was one of the first, if not the first, recruit that ever played any sport here at Garrett College. The first sport, which was basketball. He was also the first captain. He was also the first player to ever start and play every game his 2 years that he was here. He was the first player to receive any awards, and that award was the Defensive Player of the Year. And I'm sure if our friend Donnie Dowds was here, he could say a lot about Coach and his defensive play while he was here. Coach Mosley was the hardest working and most intelligent player that I have ever coached, not only here at Garrett, but my 2 years of coaching head coach in Ohio basketball and my 2 years as head coach at Middletown High School here in Maryland. I know I'm going back over 50 years, and if you all remember, in those days, things were a little different. We didn't have the clock. We didn't have the three-point shot. And the thing that Coach Mosley did for us, he was our point guard. And our point guard was one of the most valuable assets that you could have in those days. Because most of the teams in those days, because we didn't have to rush up and down the floor and shoot the ball in 10 seconds, we ran a lot of patterns. And it was his responsibility to make sure that the ball got up the floor and to make sure that all the players were where they needed to be so that we could run our patterns and we could get people set so that we could get the best shots, that we get the ball inside to players like Dennis Gibson, Mike Saturday, and people like that. That was a game in those days. I'm going to tell a little story on Coach that goes back more than 50 years. I don't want him to get a big head, and that's why I've kind of held this to now. But that first year, we went down to Chesapeake College. I mean, the guy who scheduled us to play in this tournament against some Philadelphia teams, can you imagine the recruiting that they could get in the Philadelphia area? And one of the other teams that was there was from Delaware, Delaware Tech. Well, we ended up playing Delaware Tech, and we lost the game, I think about 10 points or whatever it was. But at the end of the game, as we were walking out, I was going down the hallway, and I happened to run into the Delaware Tech coach. And he said, "You know, Coach," he said, "I saw your players play the night before, and I thought the one thing we could do was press you." He said, "I have the quickest guards that I have ever had. They're sophomores and they're very quick." He said, "But you know," and the reason I've never forgot this, Coach, he said, "You know that guy, Bosley? You know that guy, Bosley? He's a keeper, Coach. He's a very intelligent ball player. When we tried to press you, he knew exactly what to do with the ball. He knew that when they were coming, he knew when the trap was being set, when to reverse the ball, and so on and so on." Well, Coach is a coach. And for many years, he was a coach at Southern Garrett, and he won many, many games there. Excuse me. In 1982, the opportunity came that I was able to bring, as the athletic director, to bring Coach Bosley on our staff. As usual, just as he was a winning coach, he was a winning coach in high school at Southern Garrett. I don't know the exact figures, but some of you here probably know he won more than 400 and some games. I mean, that's a lot of games. But here at Garrett, I knew that I was getting a coach in which his players will always be prepared. I knew he'd be prepared, and he'd have a game plan. Again, here at Garrett, having a person that was well known in the community was a great